I'm an objective person. Do you get what I'm saying?
Yes.
And sometimes I like to ask, why do you think like that? We must, as a society, not kill truth. My truth, your truth makes no sense. One of the things that makes life worth living is the uncertainty of the future.
True.
Intensity is good, but consistency is better.
Hi everyone, welcome to Life Off the Pulpit, where we meet the man behind the message. This is not a sermon, but a story. I am your host, Eric, and today I'm seated with one of God's finest. He is a father, a husband, a pastor, and I'm so excited to have him on today's episode. Ladies and gentlemen, put your hands together for Pastor Oge. Good
Thank you.
afternoon, sir.
Good afternoon.
How are you doing today?
I'm all right. I'm doing good.
It's so good to have you.
Thank you
It's
so
good to
much.
have you. So, in a nutshell, can we meet Pastor Oge?
My name is Pastor Oge.
Literally.
I am the lead pastor of Circle Church Global. I am a husband first, and then a pastor, a business person, and just generally talented. So yeah, I'm a singer, songwriter. I run a podcast. I write books. The only thing I haven't done is act movies. If you guys have acting gigs,
So, should we be expecting that soon?
no, not yet.
Not yet.
I don't know that I can do that.
All right. So you have a nickname, Poco. I mean, when I first got to, know you, I got to know you through Spotify, by the way.
Oh, really?
Yeah, your prayer playlist,
Oh,
Pray with
okay.
Poco. And
Okay.
my God, if you know, that particular album or that
Mhm.
playlist has really helped me. So I stumbled on it one time and I saw Pray with Poco. So where did the name Poco come from, sir?
Okay, so it's just an acronym for my, or is my initials, Pastor Oge C Ogwe. So my middle name starts with C. So P,
Okay.
Pastor O Oge, C, middle name Chijioke, and then O Ogwe, Poco.
That's nice. I love it. I love it. It sounds so
Thank you.
so. So now let's talk a little about your journey into ministry. Did you always know you were going to do ministry?
Define always.
So
How
maybe
far back are we talking?
uni days.
Oh yes, from so I like to say I was called into ministry in secondary school.
Wow.
So I was already doing ministry in secondary school. I was already preaching every week. I was already praying for the sick and casting out devils in secondary school.
So ministry has always been part of the plan.
Yeah, it has always been the only plan. To be honest, so when I gave my life to Christ in 2007, I gave my life to Christ in 2007, and then if I was being discipled, and then I had an experience in 2009, and the experience just led me into proper ministry. So yeah.
That's nice. That's nice. I mean, a lot of times when you hear people's journey into ministry, they tell you that it started on campus. It started through, because I've heard quite a lot of stories, and I
Mhm.
know that campus is one of the most important grooming grounds for
For
because
ministry, yes.
yeah, because you have like a lot of opportunities to, not only safe to say make some mistakes, but also learn.
Yes.
And in that process, so I'm really, really glad that you started early. So let's just talk about some things interesting. I mean,
Mhm.
the concept of the podcast is not a sermon, but a story.
Mhm.
So when you think of Pastor Oge outside, the confines of a church, what do you expect?
I don't think that's a fair question because
Okay,
I don't know that I have expectations of myself outside of church.
outside.
So I was telling someone, a friend, that if I wasn't doing ministry, I don't know what else I'll be doing. You see, a huge portion of my life. Now, make no mistakes, I have so many things I have put my hands into. I design,
Wow.
right?
Graphic designing.
Graphics, UI, UX, interior,
Interesting.
right? So
Yes.
I design, I do music, right? I do, I write podcasts. I was literally just talking to someone about a consulting gig for business. So
Wow.
I have so many things I can do and that I do to make ends meet and to make some money. But then I like to think of all of those things as side gigs. I think that the main thing about me is ministry.
Okay.
And I think So outside of being a husband, which is like my number one priority right now, is ministry. If many people think I am an extrovert, I am not. I am
For real?
very, very okay. Maybe not say very, very introverted, but I am introverted to a degree. I don't leave my house. I don't go downstairs from like I can stay in
In
my
your
house
room? Wow.
upstairs for the whole day,
Wow.
and it won't even occur to me to go downstairs except maybe to get food to eat. So yeah, I don't know.
Those are very, very interesting things about you that people that don't know you outside the pulpit. So are there any more things that you feel like if someone heard Pastor Ogi enjoys this, they were like,
Anime.
we listen, we don't judge. So you like anime?
I do. I really do. If you don't watch anime, I judge you.
So I have a lot to say, but
Let me hear it. What do you have
I've
to
never
say?
really understood the concept of anime. It looks scattered to me.
Do you watch movies?
Yes, I do.
It's just cartoons, but I think this defining it or describing it as cartoons is simplistic. I think that anime is animated movies. Like it has depth. If you pick the right one, anyways, it has depth. It has range. So yeah, I like anime.
That's pretty interesting. So I mean, anime fans, you've won. All the best to you. So let's talk about ministry, and when I mean ministry, I mean in depth. You pastor a very thriving church,
Mhm.
the Circle Church. Why the name Circle Church?
I will give you the official answer.
Okay.
So the reason why we're called circle church is because from the beginning, the vision has always been our do they call it tagline? Is we are a
Okay.
family bonded by the spirit, but not just a family as in father, mother, children, but really a circle of believers growing other believers. And the vision is for that circle to just keep growing
Growing
bigger and bigger and bigger with Christ at its
center.
core and at its center. And so we had, when I was looking for a name, I realized the word circle just kept repeating itself in every iteration of the vision that I was saying. The word circle kept repeating itself. And so I was looking for a deep name,
Yes.
like my spiritual father's church, Celebration Church,
Power.
I was looking for a deep mountain of fire and miracles, but then the word circle kept, and I was just like, you know what? It's a cool name as well. So yeah, we can as well just pick it up.
That's pretty. So is there an unofficial answer? Because you said you're going to give me the official
This is
answer.
the answer.
Thank you very much, sir. So what's something ministry didn't prepare you for? I mean, you've been doing ministry for how long now, sir?
Okay, I've pastored a church actively since 2018, so
Wow.
that's 7 years now.
Yeah.
But we were doing ministry before that,
Long
so
time.
we were pastoring people
Yeah.
before that. I ran a fellowship in school and all of that. I think one thing that came as a
Shocker.
shocker in ministry is how people centric ministry is.
Hmm.
When you are outside looking inward, a lot of people think that the work of ministry is to preach a good sermon. That's nice, right? So some people think it's prayer. That's also good. But ministry is people, ministry is human beings, and people will stain your white. So learning how to navigate dealing with people, loving people. One thing I used to tell my friend, who is also a pastor, is if you don't go into ministry carefully, ministry can harden your heart towards people because you will experience a lot of hurt, you will experience a lot of pain, you will experience a lot of joy. Someone said something that if you see a happy pastor, it's by choice. And it's true because as a pastor, you experience a wide range of emotions. I remember let me give you an example. So one time I went to officiate a naming ceremony, and it's such an emotional experience. You are you are basically happy with the parents. A baby is
Yeah.
born, and the entire family were singing songs of worship. And as I'm officiating the naming ceremony, I get a call that someone's dad just died. Right. And as a pastor, you must celebrate with those who celebrate
Celebrate
and
and mourn
mourn
with those who
with
mourn.
those who mourn. And if you don't mourn with those who are mourning, they wouldn't understand that I'm in a celebratory mode
True.
right now. So, and then because I just heard bad news, my celebration cannot switch off at the naming
Yes. You
ceremony.
still
So
have to keep up
I
with
have to
the
be happy at the naming ceremony and then immediately I have to mourn with
those who are
those who are
mourning.
mourning. So just figuring that out as a pastor, it takes time, it takes years,
Mm,
and everybody who is starting the job eventually experiences it.
yeah. So,
Every genuine person,
yeah.
anyways.
So, sir, you said something that caught my attention. You said if you don't enter ministry carefully. So, what does it mean to enter ministry carefully, sir?
So I believe that um there are I believe that everybody who enters ministry has one of two traits. It's either you're naive or you're courageous.
Hmm.
Right? And it's okay to be either, to be honest.
Okay.
But the naive one must level up fast. You must learn fast. You must learn early. Um, some people, I've heard people say things like, if you want to make money in this country now, just start a
In
church.
church, yeah.
I was watching a clip by Joshua Selman, and he literally said, "This is Bible. This is Bible. This is microphone. Go and start."
If easy
you
run
know,
them.
you know. And I think that a lot of people go into ministry subconsciously with the mindset that, oh, if we hold prayer meetings, just call one of a lot of people before you start a church, you hold a few prayer meetings and people show up and you're like,
Yeah.
let's
I have
start a
people.
church.
Mm.
I have the people. Every pastor I know has been disappointed by that sentiment. Like there's a lady in London who is starting a church, and she called me and she was like that she doesn't understand what's going on. I said, talk to me, what's going on? And then she's like, online when they have meetings, they're like
People show
300.
up.
And then she said, okay, let's have offline prayer meetings. And she's not even getting 10 people.
Wow.
That was going on. And I'm like, welcome to ministry. Because that's what it is.
Yeah.
This is what ministry is. So if you don't go in carefully, if you don't go in, if you go in with the mindset that okay, is here, there, then gone, you might be disappointed.
Sure. Sure. Thank you so much, sir. So, sir, you said earlier that you have different expressions. How do you stay grounded? Because it's one thing to do something and do it excellently well, and knowing that every other area cannot fail because I am doing this one excellently well. So, how do you stay grounded all around?
So I think that there is, I think it's two things. I think it's priority,
Mm.
and I don't think that priority is one thing. I think that there should be an overarching principle by which we run our lives, but
Mm.
within that principle, priorities must shift. You know what I mean?
Yes, sir.
I'm a husband, for instance, and I'm a pastor, and there are times when, to be an effective husband, I must tone down my effectiveness as a pastor. What does that mean?
Okay.
I know that the world is coming to an end. I know that you have challenges, but if my wife and I are having an important conversation and you call me and say, Pastor, please, I really need to talk to you, I will not switch off that important conversation because my overarching principle is family comes first.
Sure.
You see? So I won't switch off. I can tell you, you know what, I can get back to you in 30 minutes or in 1 hour, but I won't say, you know what, my dear, let's pick this up later
Yeah.
and then let me face ministry. So I think that knowing that in life you decide what your overall general principle is for life and then let priorities shift within that overall principle, because while there are times when being an effective pastor has to suffer for being an effective husband, there are times when being an effective husband
Also.
will suffer for being an effective pastor. A good example, I think last month or 2 months ago, I was away from the house for about 2 weeks. You see, and I was in ministry. I was out working out. So um and it would only get busier. Like you would only get busier with the work. And so just knowing, I think that the myth that we've been sold is that balance is one thing. This system of equilibrium where left and
Everything
right
can be
are
going.
equal and everything is just, but I think that balance is less like equilibrium and more like juggling,
Mm.
knowing that there are some times when I have 5 balls and I only have 2 hands. Do you get? And
At some
at
point,
some point, 3 of them have to be in the air while two
two. Yeah.
are in my hands. And then for those 3 to come down, I have to release one and take another one and just keep going like that. And that's really what I believe balance looks like. And anybody who is really gunning for balance must have that mindset. If you have the mindset that, oh, I will do everything equally, I don't think balance is equal amounts of everything. I think balance is the right amount of everything. The example I will always use is if you cooked a plate of, like, you wanted to eat a plate of rice, and you said, okay, I want equal amounts. You weigh your rice, you have 200 grams of rice. You wouldn't use 200 grams of stew
Yeah, exactly.
to
You
eat
cannot.
because that's not balance. Your rice
True.
will swim. You'll be drinking it through a straw. So the proper balance would be, what is the right amount of stew for this amount of rice
Yeah.
that I have? And I think that would take a lot of juggling.
Yes, sir. One of the vision of this podcast is to show the humanistic side of a pastor. Because the truth is that I noticed that, especially in Nigeria, they put pastors on a certain pedestal and they forget that before they were first pastors, they are also humans. So how do you deal with, no, I won't necessarily call it pressure, but I want to talk about, things like burnouts. Maybe after like a long day or like a long preaching sermon, how do you cope with that? Is this something you experience?
I think that I have non-negotiables. Okay, let me not say non-negotiables, but I have systems and structures to make sure that I can deal with rest. And so, for instance, Monday is my rest day. You must be really special to bring me out of my house on a Monday.
Wow.
You get what I'm
Yes,
saying?
sir.
Monday is my rest day. I use Monday to now rest. I still work, but I'm not going out. I'm
Out.
not taking engagements, except for a few people. And then I also make sure that my house is a safe space for me. See, because one thing that a lot of people do is a lot of pastors have large hearts. I think you should have a large heart to survive as a pastor. And part of having a large heart is wanting to accommodate people. And so, unknown to a lot of people, one mistake that pastors make in the beginning is your house is open to everybody. My house is not. My house is not open to. You can visit, but you must tell me first, and I will tell
No
you if you
impromptu
can come.
visits, yeah.
No impromptu visits, no, oh, pastor, how far are you around? I'm coming. Nah, none of that. Like, you must be really special to me to do that. Like, we must have a bond that is deep and meaningful for you to come here and say, how far you did house, how they come. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
So
yes, yeah.
just making sure that my house is a safe space, because if you don't do that,
People would.
your house will become an extension of the church. And so your parlor, that is supposed to be a living room where you live, becomes where you work, because people are coming every other time. When I was living in Lagos, I just moved to Abuja. When I was living in Lagos, I noticed there was a problem because people want to get counseling. And after service on Sunday, I counsel a lot of people. So now I've given you people time for counseling on Sunday. But because people like to be treated specially, so they will say, you know what, you'll go and talk to. I will talk to him later. So they call you, Pastor, can I come to the house? I want to see you. No, my house is not the church office. If you want to see me, catch me in the church office so that we can talk there. One might say, oh, that's mean. But no,
It's structure.
it's structure to
Yes.
make sure that when I'm in this area, when I'm in this space, I am resting. And when I'm here, I am working. And if I bring work into this space, it's my choice. It's not by force. It's not so. And then finally, I like to play video games as well. So
Wow. So it's just something you use to like relax, and
yeah,
that's a good one. So what's a typical day in your life like? If you're not preparing a sermon.
I don't prepare sermon every day. Like
Yeah.
I study. So I wake up, I put in some study, I pray, have breakfast if I'm having breakfast. Then work. See, the thing with work is that it's very diverse.
Because you do a lot of
You
things.
do a lot of things, and then even with church work, um, for instance, we just opened a cell in the United Kingdom in London, and before I came here, I was in a meeting with the leaders of that cell, strategizing and organizing. So that's work for me as well. And then work can also be design sometimes I like to try my hand out on design. Sometimes I'm writing. A lot of content creation is required in ministry, and I'm not talking about videos. I'm talking
Yeah.
about, we're putting out a pamphlet for this, or we're planning something for teenagers in Abuja, and we have a booklet we want to release. That's a whole booklet I have to write, right? So all of that, just see through it. And then typically I wind down from work 7 p.m. Typically, there are days when work takes me till like the next day, but it's fine. Then I watch whatever I need to watch.
And also play video games.
I don't play video games
Every day.
every day.
Okay.
I play video games when I have people around to play video games with.
Wait, okay. Yes. So do people act differently around you because you're a pastor?
Yes, now it's
And
people present their best to their pastors, and you can't blame them. People want to be validated.
yeah.
People want to be seen in their best light. So people usually present. There are times when someone comes to tell me so and so person did this, and I'm like, eh? He doesn't look like he's capable, or she doesn't look like she's capable of saying this and doing this. And so I've learned that a lot of people they put their best foot forward in front of their pastor, and it's okay.
So if they do that, where is now the balance between being vulnerable and trying to put on issue? Because one thing, as you have said, being a pastor is being a people person, for people to be able to, come up to you. So if people keep on putting on issue, do you think there's an avenue for them to be honest and vulnerable?
I think that you can encourage people to be honest and vulnerable around you. Part of the encouragement is people realizing that they are safe even when they are not at their best around you. You know what I mean? Of course, you also have to be careful, because you don't want to condone bad behavior.
Sure.
But at the same time, you want to make sure that people feel free, or at least feel safe. Not necessarily free, but safe to be at their worst,
Without
or
judgment.
to be seen at their worst. Not without judgment. You must judge. That's the only way you can pastor right.
Wow.
The only way you can pastor right is to say you are wrong. To say you are wrong, you must have judged
Them.
the case. So judgment is not the problem. Condemnation is.
Yeah.
So you can judge without condemning,
Condemning.
but you must judge. There are no two ways about it.
Yes, sir. So you feel like it's one thing to be a good pastor, is another thing for people to find comfort or find. Thank you very much, sir. You do a very, very amazing job. So I think this was 2 weeks or last month, you posted a live recording in Lagos. So should we be expecting an album soon?
Album, no, but a couple of songs, yes.
Okay. So let's talk about your music background a bit. How did that start?
Okay, so I've always, like, I was in the choir when I was younger. I've always sang. I'm a music buff.
Okay.
My taste in music goes from classical music to hard rock. I can listen to anything.
Hard rock.
Hard rock, I can. I have listened to hard rock before.
Is hard rock the same thing as metal music? I mean, I don't know the
It's a difficult
difference.
question to answer, because they are extremely similar. So
Okay. So your music background is what has found expression in what you are doing, because I remember listening to, I think it's Oromo Nishe Fayati, such a beautiful
Thank you.
song, such a beautiful song. Thank you so much, Pastor Ogi. So I just have personal questions in terms of your perspective on things. So we live in a world where everybody wants to be accepted for their truth, and I think I've seen a sermon that you preached. This is what inspired the question.
Okay.
So And you also just links to an answer. You just answered that you can judge without condemning. So in a place where, because okay, I would want to use an anonymous scenario. It was more of an issue of same-sex attraction, and I won't lie, I found it hard to present the problem in a sense that it was not going to look like, oh, I am coming for you. So in a world that we live in, how can we Christians, balance these things and still correct in love?
Okay, so I think that we must. I'm going to approach this conversation first from a philosophical perspective before I speak about it religiously. If you think about it philosophically, if everybody has their truth, then there is no truth.
True. Yeah.
Do you understand?
Everybody can be right.
Everybody can't be right. And if my truth contradicts your truth, we both cannot be correct.
Sure.
Either we're both wrong or one of us is right, which means that for us to function as a society, there has to be such a thing as objective truth. There was a, I don't know if it was a meme or a skit, but it was a video I saw where people had an issue with the fact that a teacher was teaching and the teacher insisted that 2 plus 2 was equal to 4. And then they're like, it depends on the perspective you're looking at it from. No, it doesn't. The only variable in that statement is, do you remember number bases? Base 1,
Yes.
base 2, there's no base 1, base 2, base 3. So if we are not talking in base 10, then 2 plus 2 is not equal to 4.
Yeah.
But everybody thinks in base 10.
Sure.
So when you say 2 plus 2, we assume you're talking in base 10. In base 10, 2 plus 2 is 4. And that's what's called objective truth. It's why science exists, to discover objectivity, to discover objective truth. And so we must, as a society, not kill truth. My truth, your truth makes no sense. There is the truth, and then there is how I interact with that truth. Now, if you think of it like that, if you think of it from that perspective, now coming into Christianity, you would realize that even if you do not judge, the truth judges.
Yeah.
Do you get what I'm saying?
Yes, sir.
A judge's responsibility is not to manufacture the rightness or wrongness of a situation, but to hold a situation to the mirror of what is already the standard and determine if it meets the standard or falls short of that standard. And if you have someone who comes to you as a Christian and he says he's experiencing same-sex attraction, I can tell you categorically, you are still loved, you are still a Christian, you are still God's loved, beloved, but that is sin. And I'm not coming for you. I'm not attacking you. I'm telling you that you've committed a sin. My opinion in that situation does not count. That is sin. Because that's what our standard of truth says. And so we are holding you accountable to a standard of truth. And you can't cherry pick with truth. You can't agree that 2 plus 2 is 4, but disagree that 10 plus 10 is 20.
Yeah.
And so you can't wake up and decide, okay, if I believe in Jesus, I am saved according to what the scriptures say. But if I have a same-sex attraction, it is also okay. On that one, the Bible is wrong. If the Bible is wrong on that, then why would you trust what the Bible says
it's about salvation?
About salvation. Why would you trust any other thing else? So you find that we have complicated the conversation way beyond what it should be. What is the objective truth from Scripture? And what are you saying? Do you get like...
Yeah, it must corroborate.
They must corroborate. And if they do not corroborate, I'm sorry. I'm an objective person. Do you get what I'm saying?
Yes.
And sometimes I like to ask, why do you think like that? What do you like? What is informing your conclusions? So if someone comes to meet you and they say, "Oh, I'm struggling with same-sex attraction," or even go beyond that, I'm struggling with. Some people struggle with the urge to violently, take sexual intimacy from someone else. So like,
Mm.
I know this is going to air on
Yeah,
YouTube.
yeah. So I get the word. Yeah.
So I don't care what you are struggling with, right? The Bible has said what it has said. Do you understand what I'm saying? So the first thing you want to do is the Bible objectively correct in what it is saying? If you can ascertain that the Bible's objectives and standards are correct, and then you have to hold yourself accountable to
Accountable.
it. Anything outside of that,
Wow. Thank you so much, sir. You have just put this so beautifully well. Thank you. So now closing off, you have had, quite some experiences over the years and all. If you could send a voice note to your 18-year-old self, what would be the content of the voice note?
Hmm.
It's deep, Abby.
I don't know.
Wow.
I've heard. Can I answer your question with a question?
Okay, sir.
Would you like to know the day you die?
Yes and no.
Tell me why.
Okay, yes, because I mean, no one knows exactly when they are going to die. So if there are things I will have to do prior to then, maybe I would put in more effort and more intentionality to do them. And no, because it's going to put so much tension and anxiety. So I don't think.
And that's where my answer lies. I think that the sentiment behind sending your 18-year-old self a voice note saying, "Don't worry, champ, you've got this. You turn
Everything will
out
be
right.
fine,
Everything will
yeah.
be fine." It's a nice sentiment, but if you think about it practically and objectively, and I like to think practically and
Practically, yeah.
objectively, it's a dangerous one because
Mm.
if one of the things that makes life worth living is the uncertainty of the future.
True.
And if you take that away, you spoil the experience.
Yeah.
One of the things that, like, think of it like this. If you knew for a fact that you were going to be a billionaire in the next 10 years, like you're not guessing, you're not hoping,
You just know.
you just know you will be a billionaire in the next 10 years. Do you know that that might make you not want to hustle?
Sure.
You might just wait, biding your time till you get there. And when someone says, if you don't hustle, you won't become a billionaire, the
But
question
you know.
you will say, how do you know? I'm already a billionaire in 10 years' time.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I don't know. If I was going to send a message back to my 18-year-old self, following the sentiment, I would want to say, hold on to Jesus.
True.
Because everybody is mad and everything, every other thing is just the entire world is. I would tell my 18-year-old self that there is a time when people now identify as trees, as cats, as dogs.
Oh my God.
The world ahead of you is crazy. Hold on to Jesus. But then at the same time, I don't know what that would do to myself. I don't know. I don't know if that will make me skeptical about living. I can enter into a world of depression just knowing that I'm heading towards a world that doesn't make sense and there's nothing I
You can do about it.
So I don't know.
Wow. I really like, I mean, sitting with you here has just given me a different perspective to a lot of things. So I'm not sure if it's my final question.
It's fine.
But because majority of our audience are quite young people and, people that are starting out. And, there's a lot of pressure to fit in, a lot of pressure to scale, a lot of pressure to feel among, in a sense. What would you say to that young guy, that young girl somewhere that is overwhelmed, feeling that everyone has gone before them and, they are just struggling to barely start life?
I think that the first thing, I think that the only thing I would say to that person is your true competition is yourself, not other people. You see, I like to think of it like this. There is a parable in the Bible. Sorry, I'm a preacher.
No problem, sir.
There's a parable in the Bible that is worth considering. A man is traveling and he gives to one servant 1 talent, to another servant 2, to another servant 5. The one who was given 5 talents multiplies his 5 talents to 10.
Yeah.
The one who was given 2 multiplies it to 4. And the one who was given 1 doesn't do anything. So let's not consider that guy. But consider the fact that the one who was given 2, in terms of outputted the same amount as the one who was given
Given
5,
five,
in the
yes.
sense that he
Doubled
doubled
it.
it. But in terms of quantity, his output was not even up
Up
to
to
the starting point of the other guy.
sure.
What that tells me about life is that, number one, life is not really fair.
Mm.
Number 2, I believe strongly that there is something called the election of grace.
Yeah.
And I think that what this means is that for many people, we may never hit the degree of success that we see other people hit. And that's why I think that the idea that many people propose as success is vague, because a lot of people term themselves successful retrospectively. So I've come this far, therefore I am
I'm
successful.
successful.
But true success starts from an identification of purpose and a dogged pursuit of purpose. And if I achieve that purpose, it doesn't matter that someone else's purpose is more glamorous than mine.
But I have achieved.
I have achieved success. And that's why I said your only true competition is yourself. Because if you think about it, to one is given 2 and to another 5. If if you put million behind it, so to one is given 2 million, to another 5 million, you multiply your 2 million by
10.
that's it's still 4 million you get. You've not gotten up to where the other person started. It would be unreasonable to compare yourself to the other guy because you are seeing him with 10 million and you only have 4 after all of your hard work. So this is my advice. Make sure that every single day you are in dogged pursuit of purpose.
Mm.
The only time you can beat yourself down is when you have stopped that pursuit.
Sure.
Make sure that you pursue purpose with all your heart, all your strength, all your might, with everything you have. Just run after it and give it your best. Make sure that at the end you can genuinely say, I did my best.
Yeah.
We say that sometimes, but we know we didn't.
We did not.
Yeah, but then make sure you can genuinely, from the depth of your heart, say, I did my best. I gave it my all. And if this is what came out, then there's nothing more I could have done.
Okay.
But I will lie to you if I tell you, oh, look at the Dangotes of this world. Do you know where Dangote started from? Dangote started like the launching pad for Dangote was way higher than
Than a lot of
yours.
people,
You
yeah.
get so.
Yeah. So final question, I presume. I want to talk about devotional consistency a bit. And then, we live in a mad world, as you said. There's the bustle of 9 to 5, there's the business, there's wanting to, make money. How does a typical, let me use a copper now. You're serving Nigeria, you have to be out of your house by, and you're living in Lagos. Probably you stay in Ikeja, you work in VI.
Mhm.
How does devotional consistency set in for that kind of person?
3 things. Number 1, I'll say the 3 of them, then I'll explain. Number 1, consistency over intensity.
Mm.
Number 2, systems and structures over discipline. And then number 3, heart over performance. So number 1, consistency over intensity. Our generation romanticizes labor. We love, I prayed 10 hours. Now, should you pray 10 hours? Yeah, why not? Should you pray 12 hours? Yeah, you should. But in devotion, it's not praying 10 hours that matters.
Mm.
So let me put it like this. It won't matter if I go to the gym and I lift all the weights in the gym and I run on the treadmill for 6 hours if I don't do it every day.
True.
If I'm hungry and you serve me a buffet, it won't matter that I eat everything in front of me. If I don't eat tomorrow morning, I'll be hungry by tomorrow evening.
Yeah.
Do you see? Intensity is good, but consistency is better. And When you learn this as a Christian, especially one who is just starting out as a Christian, it helps you. It's better to pray, to have a dedicated 15-minute prayer time every day that you don't miss at the same time than to say, I must do 1 hour. And the reason why a lot of people don't have proper devotional structure is because when you think devotion, most people are thinking, okay, I need to pray 1 hour at
A
least,
long stretch
study
of
my Bible
time.
1 hour at least every day. But I would say it's better to pray 15. You know what? It's better to pray 15 minutes 4 times every day.
Yeah.
Do you get? So just 4 times across my day, I'm going to pray 15 minutes and that's it. So it's 2 p.m. My alarm rings, pray for 15 minutes. And whatever I'm doing, I pray under my breath for 15 minutes, or I stop what I'm doing and pray for 15 minutes and just carry on with my life. It's 15 minutes. I can take that out of my day. I scroll on Instagram for more time than that. Do you get? It's just keeping consistency like that matters. Over time, you will build intensity with consistency. There's a concept of PR in the gym, where personal record, I think, where, okay, I lifted or I benched 30 kg today, but I benched 30 kg for 2 weeks, for 3 weeks, then I increased it to 50 kg. Then I benched 50 kg for 2 weeks, 3 weeks. At some point, it becomes easy and it's no longer doing what it is supposed to do.
So
I have to increase. And so you get to what?
100
kg at some point. Now, you can now lift 100 kg every day because you have built the framework to carry that intense weight.
True.
Do you get?
Yes, sir.
So intensity over time requires the necessary framework to carry it. And so my advice, number one, is consistency over intensity. Number two, systems and structures over discipline. We always overestimate our ability to discipline ourselves. It's a human condition. We always think we are more disciplined than we are. We always say, is it not me? If I set my mind to do something, I will do it. It's a lie. You won't do it. Right?
Yeah.
Discipline is good. Discipline is powerful. But there are so many factors that affect performance that go beyond discipline. Do you understand?
Sure.
What do you do on a day when you feel angry at God? That's not a discipline issue anymore. It's a heart issue. I don't know if you get what I'm saying. So it's not, if I say I'll do it, I will do it. You won't pray that day because you're angry at God. But if you had systems and structures to make sure you pray every day, no matter what, even when you're angry at God, they will drag you into prayer. Oh yeah, pray.
Yeah.
And so a lot of people want to build devotion alone, but a very, very solid help for building devotion is building it with others. Do you get?
Yes.
Building devotion with other people, that you have a group of people, you have a friend. For a while, I think it was last year, my brother, Pastor Nelson, and I would pray in the morning. At a particular time, we'll just pray a little bit. I think we did it for about a week or two. But now, we're not praying a common prayer point too, but just knowing that he's on the call, I am on the call, we're praying. I'm praying my own thing, he's praying his own thing. God is speaking to me, God is speaking to him. We finish praying, we just gist about every other random thing, and we close the call, and that's it. So my advice is, number one, consistency over intensity. Number two, systems and structures
over discipline.
And then number three, heart over performance. A lot of people think that if I pray 1 hour every day, I would impress God. God would be happy with me. But it means nothing if I prayed 1 hour without soul, without heart. There was no communication. My mind wasn't in it. And this affects a lot of Christians, because sometimes you find a prayerful Christian and he's still proud. You still see arrogance, and you're like, which Holy Spirit do you have? Because the one I have convicts me of these sins, you see. And many times it's because that devotion lacks heart. It's very performance driven. It's very performance oriented. just to be able to say I pray every day and I pray 1 hour every day, just to be able to say to tell God that God, you know me when it comes to prayer, I did pray. So value heart over performance, because another thing is in the days when you are tired and you're overwhelmed
on
and
that
you
show.
can't pray, heart would come in, because that's when you go and lie down before God and say, God, I'm tired. Life is beating me. You see, you're talking from your heart. The reason why a lot of people don't pray in moments like that is because their idea of prayer is performance. So now I have to ignore what I'm feeling in my heart and now perform before God. And for 1 hour, I'm screaming at the top of my voice. And you should pray with fervor, pray with all of that. But realize that heart is the most important aspect. That when I'm joyful, it should reflect in my prayer. When I'm sad, it should reflect in my prayer. Do you understand? God does not expect me to take away the sadness, take away the pain, and come to Him and like, okay, God, let's do this now. No, I should take that sadness, that pain, whatever is in my heart, to God in prayer, and then hope that if I take it there, I can drop it with Him and leave lighter than I came. So yeah.
Beautiful. You just reminded me of something I heard from Apostle Emmanuel Iren, delight over duty. That a lot of times some people just pray so they can check it off.
Yes.
And it's a very, 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 very important thing we need to emulate. Thank you so much, Pastor Ogie.
Thank you very much.
Any final words?
So there's a Christian theologian, apologist, and philosopher that lost his life a couple of years ago. He was quite popular. His name was Dr. Ravi Zacharias. And one of his greatest missions while he was on the earth was to get God's people to think. I think that the people of this world are more philosophical and more thoughtful than Christians are. If there's anything I can say, let's think again. Let's stop buying things hook, line, and sinker just because they were sold to us. Let's really question things and question people and ask, why is this? I think, sometimes my church members ask me, is it okay to question God? And my answer is always, go ahead. He's a big boy. He can take it. I think it's better to have a world where people do things consciously than subconsciously or unconsciously. And one of the things that plagues our world with subconscious or unconscious actions is social media. Without knowing it, we are being indoctrinated, we are being hypnotized, as it were, into certain actions, behaving in a particular way. And so if there's anything I would say basically is, please, dear believer, think again.
Thank you so much, Pastor Uge. Thank you. Wow, what an episode we've had. It was short, but I mean, you said so much. And if there's anything that stood out to me, right, is in your devotion, there are systems and structures you can put in place. Do not ever underestimate the power of community. If you enjoyed this episode, please do well to give it a thumbs up, click the subscribe button. And by the way, Pastor Uge, is there a date for the song yet so we can anticipate it?
Unfortunately, no.
Okay.
But if you want me to plug in something, I do have a podcast of my own on YouTube. It's called Brunch and Belief.
Oh, yeah.
And it's really, really just like this, where I get to answer people's questions and have conversations with people just like this. So if you want to hear more of my voice, just search for Brunch and Belief on YouTube, okay?
I would add the link in the description. So please follow all our social media pages. They'll also be linked in the description. Until next time, I still remain Eric. Grace and peace.